Hello, welcome to this week's broadcast of Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting it in the Boise State Esports Arena here located in beautiful downtown Boise. Tonight, we kick off the winter season. It's a brand new season. Everyone's fighting to claim the first Rumble title of the winter in Rocket League. I am your host, Colin McJunkin, and joining me with all the action is Joe Tacky, who is, as I know, a very experienced Rocket League player, so I'm very confident to have him on the desk with me tonight. And, how are we feeling on tonight's, first Rumble, back at it again for these high school teams? Where, you have some experience with Esports Tower Rocket League. You got any predictions for us?
Honestly, it feels like something that's become a staple of the offensive line for some of these teams is a lot more heavy on the demo play, even to a fault to some extent. So I think what I'm expecting to see the most out of the aggressive teams is a whole lot of physical play, whereas on the defensive end, I'm kind of just hoping that they can make it through that. It's not something that's typically very easy to hold up against unless you get a lot of practice against it. And at the end of the day, it's a very aggressive and fast approach.
It's really easy to fall in that offensive trap of being too aggressive and being too passive, and it's sort of I feel you when you say it's really important to find the balance between that. And it's difficult for teams, especially if it's a newer team, a squad of players, to get that balance going in Rocket League. It's sort of a mix-up of what it is, but I'm pretty sure we actually have a sort of bracket thing of all four teams that we're going to have playing for us tonight. So I'm pretty sure we're going to take a look at that real quick. But as I believe, it is it is Mammoth, Stingray, Wolves, and Barracudas, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Wolves and Mammoths are the first ones playing here tonight. But if I had to put a bet on one of them, I'm going to go with the Wolves. I think they've been the stronger team.
Yeah, it's sometimes hard to tell because rosters do get swapped fairly frequently. Is what it feels like. At least 1 or 2 players. Sometimes the whole roster gets scrapped. But assuming the Barracudas are anywhere near the level that they've been in the last few Rumbles, they're looking pretty strong going into this as well. As Barracudas is a title that's usually held by a very scary, fast, aggressive team, fitting of the Barracuda title.
Yeah, very fitting of the name, I will say. And just going off, as we get started to start the first match, let's remind our friends on Twitch to support your team, celebrate your successes, and be respectful of their fans. And the mods will remind you if that hits you when you don't need it, when you're not really expecting it. But, just an overall reminder, be friendly and be active in it. We're all here for fun and games at the end of the day. So, yeah, as we get sort of ready. But before we get into that, I do know we actually have a little bit of Docs Keys to get into that.
Always Docs Keys.
Always Docs Keys to get into it. And we know in Rocket League, we know that's actually have right now. In Rocket League, create mistakes, punish the overquits, play the walls better, and demo to disrupt, which we were talking about that a little bit, about that demo and bump play, which I know is not as popular in Esports Tower as it should be with how prolific it is to this to the sort of play style. But Doc Keys of the game are brought to you by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure, and you'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
Yeah, I think like you were saying, demos, I feel like very all or nothing between the players in Esports Towers. You have players that will never go for those demos or bumps and never go for those physical plays. They'd rather go for the super consistent rotational plays, which is a play style in itself, obviously. But then you have players like Nano, who will spend maybe 60% of a game when he's in it just chasing people around and knocking them off the board. And at the end of the day, he just makes it a 2v2 no matter what. So I think that happy medium, whoever can find that first a lot of the time and integrate it well into their rotations, can have a really easy time coming away with this Rumble.
And I imagine Nano, for the team that he plays, that ends up being, a rather dominant kind of field to play with, or kind of dominant team player to play with. And going into this first match, I was correct, or actually I think I was wrong. Barracudas and Mammoths are the first ones we're going to be going into, and in that best of 5 format, right into it, get that setup going off the kickoff. It is going to go in Kevin's favor. Actually, it's right off the ceiling. Torque almost just own gold that, but did get a really good save off of it. That's all it really counts for. Torque off one touch, gets it off the side wall. Kevin's controlling it on the side wall now. Switch made an attempt, didn't quite get there. Zert's now on the ball. Kevin keeping up with it, gets the second touch. Zert's there for the defensive play, saves the Mammoths from getting their first score scored on them.
Yeah, right off the bat, we can see we actually have an entirely new Barracudas roster. Not necessarily players we haven't seen before, though. Toke being a well-known name for Esports Tower as a whole, very strong and talented player, to say the least. And his team definitely able to give the opportunities needed to make the offensive plays happen. So far, though, feels like we're kind of at a midfield stalemate. Neither team's able to put on super effective pressure. Some close calls, but not quite there yet. Kevin's trying to lead that way past the midfield line, however. Zerd is in the way. Zerd actually doesn't make contact, so Switch will actually play it in the corner and might have a defusal of the offensive play altogether.
The Mammoths so far do have 2 saves to their name. The Barracudas had 2 shots, so the Mammoths definitely defensively are showing up right now. Switch getting a good touch off the sidewall to send to the corner. Good little spot for your defense to play it off with. Switch getting another good 50, leaves the ball in the midfield. 1 bounce. Kevin goes up, not there to make for it. Fuji makes 1 touch. Oh, it goes past 2K, not able to make any kind of defensive play there. Switch controls it, 1 touch, sending it back to his mid, looking for a pass, but no teammates there. As they're kind of back to just this stalemate back and forth vibe is what I'm really getting.
Yeah, it feels like maybe the aerial consistency is not there yet for both teams. Maybe just a little bit of warm-up the first match in the Rumble, to say the least, so not a whole lot of pressure. And it's game 1, they like to feel out each other's playstyle a little bit more than usual anyway.
Oh, I was wrong. It is a best of 3, not a best of 5. So first of 2 games, which makes it a little shorter, makes it a little more intense in terms for players. Okay, looking for a touch. Fuji is going to get a really good one, sending off to the side. Torque with a really good touch, send it off. Fuji with a shot, might be behind Switch. Switch is able to make a really good play to recover it. Controlling it, decides not to go up the wall, but it's intercepted by Kevin. Back here, shot from Fuji. It is low, an easy save for Zert. Stuck in his corner here, really good spot for the Mammoths to be defensively as they manage to switch it out. Torque with no boost is able to get 2 50s that go in his favor, but no kind of pass that's available for the teammates.
Toke with the long push. Zert pushes it to the corner. Kevin trying to get past 1, but he can't. Fuji able to get past Torque. Gets past Zert as well, has an opportunity here. Only has to get by 1 more, and he does. Toke is just not quite lined up for the shot. We'll stay at a 0-0 scoreline for a moment longer. Fuji trying to get it back across, create another opportunity.
Oh.
It goes all the way across, but there's no Barracuda offense in the sight line. Mammoth's still not able to get out of their end, however. Clears over to the corner over and over again, but Toke is able to take the shot from that position, and Kevin with the follow-up will lead Barracudas to be the first one to score in this series. 2 minutes left on the clock.
There was that tiny double commit from the ET Mammoths where we can see how much that tiny little mistake bites him in the butt and just gets a goal scored on them anyway. Switch did make a shot, but it's not strong enough to get past. I believe that was Kevin that made the defensive play there. Kevin trying to put a little break play on Zert. Zert's a little bit too fast. Torque almost looked like trying to put a shot on that, didn't quite get anything out of it. Torque controlling on the sidewall in the blue side territory, didn't get anything out of it. Fuji with a shot on net, it's easily saved. Another double commit from the Mammoths right now. Kevin now back in the ball, has 1 touch, over 2, does the 3rd count? No, the 3rd touch does not go in. Oh, and then Toke just ruins Fuji's shot. Zert now a lot of control, might finish out, but it's 50'd out. And the Barracudas live another day.
Torque looking for the pass out mid. Switch just doesn't have the boost to respond. Kevin's able to get past 1. He has 2 more in his way. A bump onto Kevin from his own teammate, and Fuji might be a little bit calculated. I don't know what the cons are looking like in that situation, but working together, actually bumping his teammate out of the way and saying, all right, this is how we'll get him. This is how we'll trick him. They'll never see me take it from my own teammate. And now Barracuda's leading by 2, less than a minute on the clock. If you look at our stats, you can actually see 9 saves for the Mammoths.
Oh yeah, wow. Switch has 4 dudes up, and Zert has 4 as well. Up the midfield, this might be a shot from Toke's miss. Almost a fake for Kevin. Oh, but Switch is there again. That add 5th to the number right now. With about 30 seconds left in this countdown timer and down 2 goals, the Mammoths have got to pick something up offensively here. Zert with another save. That's 5 for all of them. 2 of them, I should say. Fuji's going to easily re-clear that up off the ceiling. Doesn't get anything off the Torque. Switch trying to control, gets bumped out of the way. This might be bad for the Mammoths. Toke with the shot. Puts it in the left bins.
Yeah, at this point, the Barracudas are in a firm enough lead that they can probably comfortably say we're getting game 1 here. Only 12 seconds left on the clock, but honestly, I don't feel like the Mammoths were that far off. They were able to hold the line for a long time, and I don't think the side control is necessarily favored to just the Barracudas in this match. We'll see right there, Mammoths are able to get 1 with 2 seconds left on the clock. I think coming into game 2, the Mammoths have to be thinking about, though, how do we make better use of our clears? We're not just throwing into the corner every time, because every time we throw it into the corner, we give up possession, and the Barracudas just hop right back on that.
Yep. And as that timer hits 0, that is the end of the first series. for this first ET Series Rumble that we had going on. The Mammoth and Barracuda, it was close. A 3-1. I do want to point out, just it's probably on the top of everyone's heads, 12 saves in total.
That's a lot.
12 saves in total. I've seen a lot of numbers in Rocket League. I don't think I've seen 12 saves in total before. And I think that really sort of paints the picture of they're doing something right or defensively, but they're not able to convert the momentum accurately to sort of create an actual counterattack. It feels like a lot of times the save is solid and it's there, but like you said, we get into this corner, we eventually clear it, but by the time we clear it, it's either a boom that is out of our reach, we can't touch it anymore, or we just give up possession, and now the Barracudas are back on an offensive streak.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with there. I would argue that more than half of the clears made by the Mammoths were just kind of Hail Marys into the corner, and that feels safe for a while. The corner is a very safe place to have the ball when you're playing defense because it's very hard to score from that position. But at the end of the day, if you don't have anyone to follow it, you just hand it back to them to take another pass shot, which we saw them do over and over again. And yeah, that they had that iron wall of a last man making saves over and over again, all three of them getting involved in that, but it just wasn't enough when you can't hold possession of the ball, and I totally agree that's something you need to think about. If you're the Mammoths going into game 2 here, we'll have to see if the adjustment is made or if the Barracudas are going to be allowed to run willy-nilly on the offensive end again.
Sometimes they say the defense, the best kind of offense is the best defense. And, 12 saves, you have to say that's the best defense, but there clearly was no offensive side. And Rocket League is not a one-sided game at all. It's a very fluid motion game. You have to be willing to pivot on your feet when it matters the most. But getting right into the game, 10 seconds in, Zert with a little bit of aerial play here, gets one touch, gets it over Tokay. Fuji's making a defensive play, work to follow it up, might have something, isn't able to get the touch, but it's up out mid. But there is no Mammoth attacker to make any attempt on it. But Zert putting a shot on net, easy clear for Fuji. Kevin looking something off the ceiling, wasn't gonna find it though. Torque just kind of passing it back and forth. We're still seeing this little ping pong back and forth that we have going on.
Oh, good pass from Fuji. Tokay's there, but he's blocked at the last moment by Switch. Hanging out in the midfield line. Switch is able to get past, but not in a way that Kevin can't just beat. The 50-50 is actually in favor of Zert. Kevin with the doink out will find them past the midfield line. Torque is just having to put it down. Tokay has the response. Barracudas are back on the offensive end. Switch has an opportunity here, but he does get blocked by his own teammate. This is a very dire situation now. Zert's able to get past one. He creates the space. He only has one more to beat, but he can't do it. Barracudas hold strong. So far, the side controls felt fairly even going into game 2.
Yeah, so far it seemed like possession has still been sort of back and forth so far, but a little bit better follow-up on your first touch. It feels like from both sides. And the Barracudas were always doing that in the first game. It felt they were very, very clean and very nice with that ability to follow up on their first initial touch. But Mammoth seems to be able to hold up a lot stronger offensively compared to that. But this is, I'm saying that, Tokay from the other side of the net's going to bang it in top bins.
Yeah, and an unresponded to pass off the backboard will allow the Barracudas to get back into the lead going into game 2 here. A scary situation for the Mammoths. They have the time, but Fuji is not giving up possession. He crosses the midfield line. They're in the corner. Have an opportunity here. Switch with the clear out. Tokay's in the way. He can't get in front of it though. Now the pressure is in favor of the Mammoths. They have an opportunity. Kevin with a big clear out. Torque is going to be able to respond first. No, actually, he leaves it for Kevin. The shot towards the wall is going to get cleared out by Torque. I almost said Torque.
Yeah, a little combination of the two. They might want to experiment with that. Swap the last parts of each other's name and put it in yours. Almost a shot on net from Fuji. Unlucky pinch. Does get the demo. Might want to find one on Zert. Does get the plump anyway. Tokay's going to bang it off the wall, looking for a follow-up. Doesn't find it, though. Switch going to bang it up. Crossbar. Torque looking to follow up, and Switch is there. A little bit precision shot.
Definitely a more comfortable position for the Mammoths now. They're definitely making the Barracudas run for their money a little bit more. Both goals now due to an unresponded to backboard touch. Maybe that's something they have to start thinking about, clearing it off the backboard before it even gets there. But at this point, we're pretty late into the series. Switch off the 50-50 is not able to make anything of it. The follow-up from Zert will get them past, but only so that Kevin can respond. He's looking for the pass out mid here. Does get the musty, but can't get it anywhere else. Fuji's going to look for the shot off the backboard. Tokay will tap it against the backboard again, but there won't be any shot. Fuji will clear it, and the Mammoths have a way out.
Yeah, you know these teams are aerially inclined. You know they're deadly in the air. Everyone in this lobby has the ability to take shots up in the air. And I think there's a roll one in the net right now between Fuji and Switch. Torque is going to absolutely defile the roll one. A sacred act. the Rocket League gods will frown upon you from this moment on. It might be in the form of Kevin taking a shot, and that's the Rocket League gods speaking right there.
Okay, see, this similar play now from game one, I believe it's a little calculated now. This is the second time they faked out the guy with possession. Definitely impressive to see. I don't feel like that's something that's experimented very much with Esports Tower players, is getting a little creative with your first man, but a very good job from the Barracudas, using some aggressive creativity to remain ahead, but not for too much longer. Switch is able to get the read off the ceiling, but the Mammoths back into a 2-2-0-0 situation. We're less than 2 minutes into this, or less than 2 minutes left on the clock here. Zert leading the charge across the middle of the line. He's trying to find his first lead, but he can't do it.
Torque back at the wall. Kevin did intercept that pass. That's going to call up from there. Switch on the wall. Gets the defensive play. Toke is there at the 50-50. Looks like there is no Barracuda attacker from the right side that's able to clear it. Switch keeping aerial control in the air. Oh, is only able to get one touch with not a lot of boost. Actually, it's 0 right now. Probably looking for a second man to come in. Zert now with 0 boost as well. Torque gets up, gets a touch down. Nobody's expecting that touch. Just all of a sudden, these shots aren't really, I think, what, maybe out of the 5 shots scored, 4 of them have been like these weird off touches that you might not be expecting, which is more often than not better than the calculated shots, because they're just a little more unpredictable than that.
Oh my goodness. It feels like the Barracuda's defense is kind of falling apart. It's 2 opportunities now where the last postman just wasn't there to be found. We'll have to see if their offense can make up for it. Fujay is leading the charge. Mammoths with their first time in the lead. They want to hold on to it. Switch is trying to find a way across. He can't do it. Kevin with the bump. Zert's leading the way now. He has a flick towards the backboard. Kevin has to respond. He does. Keeps it close. Looks for the Musty. Has a follow-up off the wall. And he'll push past the midfield line, completely reverting the pressure entirely. Zert is up now. Gets the 50-50. It rolls into the corner. He feels safe as Switch can follow up, but beat by Toke.
Kevin on the defensive path does get a 50 that goes in the favor. Looking for a follow-up. Zert's not there. Now off the sidewall. Is there a defense? There was, but there just wasn't enough. Fuji, the low shot's blocked. Switch comes in to make the saving defensive play. Stops them from being scored on once again and losing that that lead they had. Torque now following up. A little bit of bang back and forth with the little bit. Oh, that's actually 0 seconds. Wow, that actually went so fast.
Yeah, I got
wasn't
really
paying
into that.
Yeah,
I didn't notice.
I didn't even notice the time. That almost confused me. I was like, oh, what happened? But the Mammoths take it over the Barracudas. It is 1-1 now. This is a very close 3v3 series. I want to know your thoughts on what changed for the Mammoths or what changed for the Barracudas that allowed that score line to change so much.
I think what it came to a lot of the time is that they were getting contested more at the midfield line. The Barracudas were getting contested more. There was a lot more teamwork. It still wasn't perfect. Obviously, none of it's perfect. I mean, that's why we're learning, right? But there was a lot of really solid team play just to make sure there was a lot of 50-50s and just everyone following up all the time at the midfield line. It made it really hard for the Barracudas to keep the pressure they had in the first game. And eventually their defense broke down first. It feels like their defense is definitely the weaker of the 2 defenses we see on the field right now. They're relying heavily on that offensive play, which can work. It did win them game 1, but we'll have to see how it takes them in game 3, because right now Mammoths are actually looking pretty solid.
Oh yeah, we should be looking to see that game right now come up as this game 3. The match point, CU moves on. Now, it's not the end for anybody. You guys got to look at the bracket earlier at the start of the broadcast. They go down to the losers bracket, or sort of the second chance bracket is what it's commonly referred to. So it's not over for anybody here, and I believe from that point on it moves on to best of 5s. But, you know, this is already a really good series to start out as the first game of this Rumble.
50-50 with Toke. Toke will win out. It's going to roll in front of the net. Switch is able to get across, but not really effectively. Kevin looks for a pass back to himself. He can't do it. Torque will get past 1. He has to follow up here, otherwise he's beat. Doesn't have Fujay beat. Zert has to rotate back. A response from Switch will keep the aggression in play a little longer. No defensive rotation from the Barracudas. They do get a clear out, however. No boost on the side of Toke means that he will get beat by Zert here. Oh, and a good shot from Kevin at the midfield line. They're just caught off guard. The Mammoths barely not making contact when it mattered most.
Just a small little side flick that gets the ball over and up, and nobody on the defensive side is able to predict that shot. Fuji declines not to touch that ball. Probably thought there's going to be some type of test there. Toke is able to make a touch. 2 follow up on it. Switch now off the sidewall. Kevin's going to look to toss and fall out. Maybe a pass to Fuji. 50 with Torque is going to leave on the midfield. Shot was on net, but Fuji was there to clear it easily. The 50 going not in their favor. The blue side's looking a little low on boost. Actually, the orange is looking way low on boost as Fuji is elevated with 7 not getting like a play. Torque realizing that, he's going to play it down to 50. Goes back to the corner, switch. Looking to make a preemptive touch. Doesn't quite go into Kevin faking out. The orange side player back inside of blue. Toke with one touch looking to elevate off the wall. Is going to be intercepted. Looking like a little bit of stalemate here as the Barracudas lead this match with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Shot over. Not quite going to be good enough for the Mammoths. Kevin has time to follow up the wall. Maybe a flip reset here. Can't really go anywhere with it. Gets the second flip reset. Still can't do much with it, however. They'll roll it to the corner. Fujay has to respond. He ends up missing getting the demo. Plenty of time for Switch to stall. Barracudas started every game 1 goal ahead. See if they can hold on to the lead. Kevin looking for the pass, but he gets bumped out of the way. Torque gets the response, hits it out towards the midfield. Toke gets the response first, plays it up the wall, back to himself. Goes for an air dribble, but doesn't make quality contact, so Zert will hit it down. Fujay with the pass out mid. Toke and Kevin are both rotating back. There's no offensive pressure right now. A big clear from the Mammoths. No response from Toke, no response from the backcourt defender. Barely able to get there in time is the third man, and now the Barracudas hang on for their dear life. An opportunity maybe squandered a little bit by the Mammoths by a lack of speed, but they definitely have all the pressure right now. They don't feel like they're completely stuck in the woods yet. Toke's trying to get the clear, leaves it over the Fujay, passes it over one. Zert is back to make the clear, has plenty of time, just hits it towards the corner, has no one to respond with except himself. A 50-50 with Toke will go favored for Toke, but ends up getting blocked out by the last defender. And now we're back to the midfield line ping pong.
Ball kind of bounces up. Zert taking a good little touch over one, looking to get a touchdown to the midfield. Doesn't find anything. Torque looking for a little bit of pinch on the sidewall. Switch is going to beat it up. Torque makes a turn. Zert is there. One touch. He's going to be able to recover off anything. A triple commit from the side of the Barracudas. Torque might want to take advantage of this. Boost is full on the side of blue field. Zert with the follow-up, not going to find it as anything. Toke beats in the air with an open net. He's got to capitalize on this situation. Torque with the save, but it's not out of the danger zone. Yes, Kevin's going to be there and just swat it with the bouncing shot just below the net. And just like that, the Barracudas are up 2-0.
A less than quality clear from the Mammoths gives the Barracudas an opportunity to have that safety goal. Not what you're looking for right now in the Mammoths. This is the last opportunity to come back here now. Toke is not able to make contact. A good clear from Torque. Fujay with the clear. Now, switch over to Zert. Zert has to hit it down. He does. Switch with the response, but nope, the clear is good for the Barracudas. They give out the midfield line only to get blocked by Torque. Toke playing it off the corner, doesn't make contact. Fujay gets the touch, but only in front of his own net. Tries to flick past one, tries to flick past the second, but can't get anyone. Kevin has to follow up and gets past one. The air dribble is good, but it'll be blocked by 2 defenders who almost pinched in with the power of their own teamwork. Fujay is not willing to give up the pressure yet and will stay in the Mammoths defensive end for a little longer.
5 saves to the name of the Mammoth, as the Barracudas have 4 over on that side. So definitely a defensive-sided game, as there's more saves than the goals currently right now. But Kevin's taking around the roundabout, gets intercepted by Zert. Torque might be there at the shot on net, beats out 2 defenders, and is going to put this game in a 1-point score point, if that makes sense, with about 45 seconds left to play.
Definitely still an opportunity here for the Mammoths. The Barracudas got to be sweating a little bit. Switch is feeling confident. He goes for the touch. Zert is getting the follow-up off the wall. Looks like a response from 2 different Barracudas defenders. It'll cross the midfield line. Torque plays it back to his own corner and slow. Tries to dribble past one. Can't win the 50-50 with Fujay. Now Switch playing it towards the wall. Has to get past one. Does get past one. Kevin turns his back to it. Can't get past another, though. The 50-50 actually goes in favor of the Mammoths. Follow-up from Zert could be huge here, but he's just going to get too slow of a pass. Oh, my goodness. No. That's definitely not what you're looking for. There's a little bit less than 10 seconds left on the clock here, around 15, but no, it's not enough. Barracudas just find a third one off of a really unfortunate, almost like self-pinch off the wall.
Yeah, that was not exactly what you're looking for. And absolutely heartbreaking as we wind down the final 10 seconds. And unless Zert can put something on the net, there's no hope left for the Mammoths here as it goes to as it ends out game 3 as that clock hits 0. And the Mammoths are officially not winning that match. It goes to the Barracudas, and the Mammoths are going to move downward onto the second chance bracket as the Barracudas will move forward in that. What a first series to start out on.
Yeah,
that was great. I could not ask for a better series to start out on. But you know, Joe, you see how the going it all alone can only get you so far. Ultimately, if you want to increase your chance of success, you have to level up your teaming skills. We saw that last play by Zert that was a magnificent team play for them to get into that final point. But you can see how far they've come since the last time they were in the Rumble. Esports Tower really takes the time to create teams of well-matched teammates. I'd like to do a shout-out to Coach Jake, and if those watching haven't checked out Esports Tower clubs, you should the fast track to rank up. And I said it once. I'm going to say it again. Just what a great series, honestly. There was a lot of skill in that match. There was a lot of showcasing there. And there definitely was a high level of understanding how that game should be played and how it should be played going forward. And I did like how you mentioned there are some mistakes you are always going to make. That's always going to be the case. You're never really perfect. Heck, even the pros that Boise State has or in the pro scene, they're going to make mistakes every now and then. That's just part of the game. It's more or less on how are you going to improve past that point? And I definitely saw a little bit of improvement from both of those teams throughout 3 games.
Yeah.
That's quite the shift they made.
Yeah, it definitely felt like the consistency of touches, especially in the air, got really consistent from Game 1 to Game 3 from both teams. But at the end of the day, I think Game 3 honestly just ended up going to the Barracudas because they had better shot consistency. It felt like there were, a lot of opportunities that might have not been 100% goals for the Mammoths, but they still would have been very pressuring situations to at least put on that, and they were just hitting the crossbar or the sidebars over and over again. I just think what it comes down to is consistency was key in that Game 3.
Oh yeah, definitely. Consistency was key, and we saw some patches of it in the fourth. But make sure to stick around after these messages. We do have a second series for you to watch, and it will be entertaining. So get up, stretch, get some water, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Home is where you hang your hat, snuggle up, hide out. Home is when you're with the ones you love. It isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. At Idaho Central Credit Union, our home is Idaho. We grew up here, and we're proud to help more Idahoans with their home loan than any other financial institution. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe home is where you make it.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
Greetings and welcome to this week's broadcast of Esports Tower Rumble and Rocket League. We're broadcasting from the beautiful Boise State Esports Arena. Who will join the Barracudas in the winners finals? It is time for the Stingrays and Wolves to face off. One team will advance and the other will drop to the lower bracket. As I mentioned before, in the first time around, I am your host, Colin McJunkin, and joining me to call the action is Joe Tacky, the wonderful, the legendary, and that first match was great to see, honestly, in my opinion. It was a solid start to this Rumble that kicked it off. I'm kind of hoping this one follows the energy, and what's one thing that the Mammoths could take from that game, unfortunately, that they lost, and apply it to this one with the Stingrays that could potentially give them the edge?
I think the big thing that I would try to take away if I'm the Mammoths, especially if I have more Rocket League to play, especially in the same day, is that, hey, we were more than capable of that matchup. We took them all the way to Game 3. We were very close in the 2 games we had. In the first one, we were down 3-0, but we still started to come back right at the end there. We swung the momentum in our favor. And I think at the end of the day, you just have to kind of reset, say, okay, I know I can do this. We were scoring when it mattered. We just need to get a little more consistent. We're right where we need to be.
Yep, and we'll just take a look at that at this bracket once again, this little graphic that we have going on. And, covered last match, the Barracudas in the winter finals, the Mammoths in the lower, and then we have the second matchup. So obviously if the Wolves or Stingray win, they move on to fight the Barracudas. Whoever loses drops down to the lower bracket, and they play that. Then the lower finals, then on to the grand finals. You've seen it all before. You know how it works, and the players know how it works all around the world. And, honestly, the Barracudas are looking very strong, but we have yet to see the other two teams, half of the roster. So I see what you meant with that the Barracudas are a very strong name to say, because looking at their gameplay, they definitely were a very offensively wound team. It was quite amazing to see them just kind of go. But I'm sort of interested to see how the Stingrays play in this.
Yeah, I feel like the Stingrays, it's hard to say, honestly, because we still haven't seen their roster. And even though none of the Barracudas have that reputation of fast-paced gameplay, it was 3 new players that we normally see on the Barracudas roster. So it's hard to say what we're going to see exactly. I mean, assuming somewhere in these 4 teams there's a Nano, that team you can just expect is going to be a fairly aggressive team, because it has to play around Nano, unless Nano's making a change. It has to play around Nano's kind of inherent, car destroying
car play style. We want to take a second to congratulate the All Esports Tower Club members who graduated from the clubs and have been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower Club members have received over $3.9 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but worked hard academically and have earned those scholarship opportunities. Those players who see these scholarships are talented, hardworking, and driven, and could not be more excited and proud to see all the opportunities that will come to these players and their successes in the future here at the Esports Tower, and also for the desk that's here at Boise State Esports Arena. We wish you all the best and congratulations to those scholarships. It is completely possible that Nana is following Doc's Keys the game, which is in Rocket League, create mistakes, and if demoing them is making them create a mistake in all, honestly. Punish the double commits, play walls better, and demo to disrupt. Honestly, Nano has to be listening to the Doc's Keys. There's no way they're not.
Yeah, and even to a fault to some extent, we've seen some very aggressive gameplay. I'm curious what the Stingrays and Wolves roster will look like this week. Last week, I felt like the Wolves, they weren't necessarily, assuming it's the same roster, they weren't necessarily quite where they needed to be, but they were getting close, and I feel like the Wolves realistically could make a very solid run this Rumble.
Oh, yeah. Definitely excited to see how they end up shaking out. And as always, the Doc's Keys are presented by the Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure, and you'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up in Rocket League. And just in overall, whatever game you want to as well, that's supported by Esports Tower. And this lovely little walkthrough that we have of the map goes into a different map. This one's a new one, but, not everything can go your way. Just getting right into it. We have the Wolves in the blue, the Stingrays in the orange. A little bit of move up here. Is this a new roster that you're seeing here, or anyone new?
I believe State is actually still the same State on Wolves that we saw last week.
Okay, all right.
Or I guess I shouldn't say most recently. But, I believe SSL Kutta and Tony might be new. We'll see, however. If there's anything that Arnie and I noticed a lot about State last time we got to cast with him on the Wolves, is that he is a very, very powerful forward on both the defensive and offensive ends. He does a really good job of enabling his team, so I'm interested to see if that remains the case in this first match. But so far, the Stingrays actually start the lead off with Popo starting us off with first goal.
That was a really good sequence. I do want to point out, not to go under mention, that 1-2-3 pass of the touchdown back to the shot that was scored by Pop. The demo goes on to Pop, actually. Speaking of it, a little bit of bump play come out here. Coordination might be looking not as smooth, but they are up 1-0 with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left here. Tony on the wall, makes one touch. Essentials there to make a touch. Kutta falling up, not able to make anything different. State's there. Takes one touch, essentially now up. Gets one touch, doesn't get the flip reset, and State's there to disrupt. Looking for the pass out mid. Pop is there, back up the backboard again. Is anyone there from the orange side? Essentials is. And it's just going to get a nice little dime in that corner, in that right corner slot, and put this game up 2-0.
Stingrays feeling fairly confident. Only a minute and a half shaved off the clock this early. Pop getting a pass downfield. So Kutta's on the wall. Tony with the clear. Nope, he actually doesn't make contact at all. Roll over to essentially Boss. Looks for a pass off the wall. State can't make contact either. Tony with a pass away. Pop is up. Can't do anything. Tony just has to pass it right back. A demo in the midfield. Don't think it was intentional from either side at that point. So far, just a lot of battling in the midfield. Not a lot of pressure going into this third goal opportunity here now. A little bit of demos.
Might find an open net opportunity. Can Tony recover from the wall? A bad bounce that essentially was not looking for. Area, I imagine. Sorry if I pronounced that name incorrectly.
I think it's Area.
Different, I imagine. Yeah, I think if I butcher for the rest of this series, I apologize heavily. But Pop looking for one more area. Looking to get a center here. Does get it. Cut is there to follow up, though. Oh, but essentially almost putting it in. State with the backboard defense is going to clear it out. Essentially looking for another shot on net from that corner piece. State's quick to follow up. Looking for a 50-50. A 50-50 does go in State's favor. Pushing onto the orange side. Does get cleared out by Pop, but Cut is there quickly to follow up. Looking for a pass out middle or a self-play here. Does try to get the attempt, but doesn't quite work out. State does get outpaced, but it's an easy pinch. Not an easy pinch for Tony. Has shots back mid. And essentially now with 3 goals to the name. Actually 2, sorry.
Yeah. It is interesting, though. It feels like the Stingrays, they don't necessarily have a totally aggressive approach. It feels like these teams have very similar playstyles in terms of offense and defense balancing. It just, the Stingrays are breaking through more often right now. They're finding more holes in the defensive line. Area has to get in the way of State, but no offensive striker here means that nobody really has to stop State if State doesn't have an angle. A pass down to essentially Boss can flick it away. Has Kutta chasing him, but Tony will intercede instead. Just hit it back towards his own corner to buy time. Essentially Boss gets the pass over to Tony. Off of Tony, actually, over to Iria.
It seems like the car control and seemingly what you want to do with your vehicle is very important in Rocket League, and we know this, and it does seem like Stingrays have this in both the aerial and ground control. It just looks like the confidence level and what they're doing with the ball and then their follow-ups is there, and I feel like that's what makes their their scoring abilities so fast that we don't spend a lot of the time on the blue side. When the ball is on the blue side, it's either cleared very fast or it's scored very quickly. That's to say the ball is spending a tremendous amount of time in the blue side. And the Stingrays also pass out middle a lot. There's not a lot of solo plays that I've seen them take.
They seem very focused on using all of the resources available to them. Goes for a flip reset, actually, but doesn't quite make enough contact. Clear over from Kutta. Response from State, but he actually won't make any contact at all. Kutta now looks for the pass over to Tony, who gets the clear out. Essentially, Boss has the beat, but doesn't make contact either. Tony can get past the midfield line on a dribble. Actually just passes it away to Iria. Gets one fake, only has to get past one more. He does get the 50-50 out to his teammate Pop. Just puts it out mid. A shot then from the Stingrays, and just kind of baiting out those defenders one by one and finding a way past them. Burning boost until the Stingrays have a shot opportunity, and they lead by 5 now with less than 30 seconds left on the clock. I believe that's as close as a deal as we're going to get, probably.
Yeah, this is pretty much a done deal for the first game, and I think it's part of your responsibilities as teammates. Leaving the goal open, State, I don't know if that was quite the smartest choice you could have made, going for boost in that decision. Possibly had ball cam off, but we don't know. Try not to make any level of assumptions here, but nevertheless, it is still a detrimental lead that the Stingrays hold over the Wolves. And as we count down these final couple seconds, the ball hits that ground, it is over, and you got to say GG, move on to the next. Area might be looking for one more play, passes out mid. State keeping it alive, gets one more touch up, essentially looking to play down. Oh! As the ball just lingers over the top of these defenders, they get one morale goal. That's not bad.
I mean, yeah, you could make the argument that the heat is kind of in their favor now going into game 2, but I'm still not feeling very confident after that game if I'm in the position of that team. So, honestly, a lot happened in that game. A lot of goals scored and a lot of different plays. It didn't feel like there was a lot of one big thing.
Yeah.
If you had to take something away to try to flip your favor going into game 2, what do you think you would take away?
It felt almost like every time they scored, every time the Stingrays scored, it felt like a blur, honestly. And that's what I think. That's what I really take away from you saying there was nothing big. Felt like there was nothing that stood out that was like, we're doing this so horribly wrong. This is our gap. Like, this is where we need to make up. It just felt like everything sort of happened really fast. And I feel like, perhaps bumping them, a demo is never really a bad thing. That's something I can easily throw out to anybody that could make a generalized improvement to their gameplay. But it also feels like they're being baited out of the goal so much, and there really isn't a lot of shadowing or any passing. There's no midfield protection from their pass. And when they do aggress, they overly aggress on the defensive side and, overcommit to these, and they end up finding themselves out of position, really out of position. We saw that one goal that really stands out to me was two of the players get a pop over each, one other defender, and then the goal is just left open. So, I feel if there was one particular thing that stood out is defensively, apply pressure one at a time, because there's no reason to double commit. There's no reason to overcommit there. And, shadowing never hurts.
No, I think what's really important going into this game 3 now to think about is how you would even play it in a solo queue situation. A lot of the time when you're playing not as that third man, but you're playing that first man on the defensive line, all you have to do, you don't necessarily have to make contact, but all you have to do is get them to throw away possession enough that your team can follow it up. So making sure that you achieve that goal, you don't even have to attempt to go for the ball. You can bait them to thinking you're going for the 50-50, so they flick it up and you just demo them. They've given up the ball. They can't go for it again. So at the end of the day, I think what it's going to come down to is being more mindful of what you actually need to do on your position on the pitch.
And I really do like that word, being more mindful, being more aware of what you're doing while you're going for the ball. Don't just let everything become a second nature ability for yourself. They're the ones being faked out right now, but Pop might actually have a double touch here. It is cleared up by Stave. That's a really good backboard defense they have going on. As we see more of that momentum shift that they had, a little more connectedness between when the ball goes somewhere and the teammate's able to respond. They're going to look almost for a semi-breezy quick, doesn't get find anything. Pops up looking for a shot, does get one, stays there for the defense. It's a triple commit coming out from them. Nevertheless, the ball got cleared. Kutta did get demoed. Ball's out mid. State looking for a shot. It is saved by Papasaur, and essentially might have the momentum here. It is denied by Tony.
Yeah, Erie is looking for a play down too. He actually gets the dunk and finds back to the net here. Looks like there was a little bit too much of an assumption that Iria couldn't do anything from that position.
Yep.
Have to make sure that you're keeping an eye on the ball, but also aware of where the offender is. Essentially, Boss doesn't really have a good touch here. He has to end up leaving it out for Tony. He goes off the wall, but Tony doesn't get that great of a touch either. So Boss passes it out mid. State has to follow up back to himself. Maybe looks for a shot from this position, but it'll get blocked out by Iria. Tony over to the side. State's able to pass it out mid, but not in a way that Boss can't beat him first. Rolling towards their end. Tony's able to flick it away and out. Now he just has to get past one defender, but he can't get past Pop. The pass out mid actually goes straight to Kutta, as there's no Stingrays in play to make that an offensive approach.
Essentially stalls out looking for that boost there with not a lot in the tank. Still sitting, still waiting. Very playing defensively on that backboard. Does get one clean touch, sends it off to the side. Kutta trying to recenter, does double commit with State. State getting a really good second touch, almost slammed, dunks it back in. Not going to find anything efforts out of it. And Tony finding an open net, making this off-center commit. Something that they didn't do in the first match that they adjusted in this second, and they catch the opponents off guard.
Yeah, I really like to see that confidence, but right off the bat, I really like to see that confidence. I like to see it at least one more time so we can get back to a tied position here. That's definitely not what you wanted to see immediately after if you're the Wolves.
No.
Finally feeling good for a minute just to get that one up, but not something they can't take themselves out of. It's just not. It's not the it's not the hole you wanted to create for yourself after just getting out of that one.
No, yeah, it's definitely a little morally. Oh my God!
Oh my goodness! Was that an own
that's
goal?
also that was. I think State was trying to make a play off the backboard, and like the bottom of the car clipped the ball and just went straight in.
Yeah, it was the greatest redirect ever.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't clip that because it's your own.
Is it?
Oh my God! Area making the quality save on this goal line here. Such an unlucky little bout for the Wolves here. And essentially,
no.
you got to find a way to shut down these flick plays, and a lot of times that's creating a coordinated attack with your second and third man. That's in the backfield of, hey, I'm going now, follow up. But when you're just caught out of position, there's not much you can do. Officer looking for a shot. Let's get it over Tony though. 2 in the net here, looking to do something.
Not another one.
And essentially defend the BM.
And obviously, I'm not picking sides here at all, but if I feel so bad for the Wolves right now. I mean, obviously, it's something they can prevent, but they went from feeling great for a second there to down 4 goals just off of some unfortunate mistakes.
Yep.
Not what you're looking for. Went from a close game in this best of 3 to looking rather doomed, to be honest, especially when they're on their last life right now. They're using it. It's wasting away.
Oh, yeah. I really do feel like the last 3 goals are absolutely preventable to a degree that you could switch out their gameplay. But it's one of those things you look at in the past. There's no reason to dwell on anymore. Chalk it up to, oh well, unfortunate. Just move forward because there's still quite a lot of game left here, and don't ever count yourself out. Don't call it a comeback.
Definitely can't count yourself out yet, and there's no use in counting yourself out on your last life anyway. A good flick from essentially Boss. Blocked by Kutta. Has to get the solo play past Pop. Barely does, but can't follow it up really. Has to get a Wolf offender in the way. State is up, but to get blocked off the back wall. No shot yet. Kutta gets the clear over one. Has to get the read. Does get the read, but can't tap it down. Ends up clearing it away instead. A little bit less than 1 minute and 15 left on the clock now. Essentially, Boss trying to create an even bigger lead for his team here. Just kind of loops back around and passes it over to Iria, who hits it off the back wall. Looking for the double touchdown, but he can't get the angle. State will clear it away. And now the Wolves have an opportunity here, but no, they'll get blocked at the last minute by essentially Boss. Just having too much faith that the Stingrays don't have a response to that. This could be an open net, but it looks like the Wolves are barely able to get in the way.
And no boost for the side of the blue team over here. They're being boost starved right here. Essentially taking one more big boost pad. There's effectively no boost on the side of blue. It is all but not going to be a goal scored. And Area definitely putting one on the highlight reel for that. The flip reset, a little bit assisted by, I think that was State. I'm not super sure. Don't quote me on it. But yeah, when you're down 6-1 with less than 35 seconds left to play, it's not looking in a good spot.
No, it's definitely not feeling good. Area leading the charge now. All they have left to achieve at this point is the Brazil, as there's less than 30 seconds left on the clock. It's not looking good. We'll have to see 4 goals every 5 seconds. Or no, that would be insane. You have to see 4 goals in these next 20 seconds. But now it's just not going to happen. 10 seconds left on the clock. Tony can't get a wheel on it. And as the clock winds down, it looks like we'll be ending in a very similar scoreline. And the Wolves will, oh no, the Brazil against the Wolves now. Stingrays definitely earning this 2-game sweep, but
yes,
disaster for the Wolves. We'll have to see if they can bounce back versus the Mammoths in the lower bracket.
Yep, clock at 0, just run out in that best of 3. That means the Stingrays are going to take it, and they are going to move on to the winter finals to play the Barracudas. And while the Wolves will drop down to the lower final and will play the Mammoth, every team at least has, one more game left in them, so it's always fun to kind of play that way. But, that's just, it was devastating. But I want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access and industry insights, and with their featured rumbles, recruiters are taking notice too. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. That is fact. It's a great way to start out, and I feel like these games really do provide, more than enough to these players on, the competitive nature of, a little bit of, for lack of better words, a peekaboo insight into the competitiveness of a collegiate esports as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is like as close as Rocket League, and I'm sure Valorant for Esports Tower and Overwatch as well probably gets to grassroots to some extent
Yeah.
for these collegiate teams. So it's really impressive to see how these players grow. And I think the important thing to take away, especially if you're an Esports Tower player, is that you're in this stage where you should just be trying to get better, and results are fun, but nothing really matters right now. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't win a single game in some of these Rumbles, but you get to the point where you're able to play on a collegiate team and then you start to pop off, that's where stuff really starts to take off for you.
Yep. So, yeah, essentially, even though you move to the lower final bracket, it's all okay. It's the lower final. You still have one more game left to play, and you need to play your heart out of it. So we're looking forward to that, that lower final, that final matchup game that we're going to see. But we are going to see that right after these messages. Once again, go stretch, go get water, go take a break, do a little push-ups. We'll see you after these.
Home is where you hang your hat, snuggle up, hide out. Home is when you're with the ones you love. It isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. At Idaho Central Credit Union, our home is Idaho. We grew up here, and we're proud to help more Idahoans with their home loan than any other financial institution. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe home is where you make it.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Hello, welcome back to the beautiful Esports Store Arena here, where we have the final matchup of today for you, where we have the Stingrays versus the Barracudas in our upper finals, where it is a best of 5, unlike the other matches we had that were best of 3, as for once again, it is the upper finals, so it means a little bit more, but it's so important to just like get right into this, because much like these players are getting right into it, we talked about the Barracudas a little bit after on this break, and that was a more intensive matchup against the Mammoths. It went to game 3. It seemed a little more close net, tight-knit type stuff. So I feel like going into this, the Barracudas might have, I like what you said about this, they might have a little bit better of a confidence swing in terms of, oh, we played a really good team, we're in a really good standing now, whereas Stingrays might be, not expecting the full capacity of the Barracudas.
I think the trap that's really easy to fall into right now, especially if you're the Stingrays, is, hey, we just blew out that team, and they're in the same league as us, and so we're so good, we're so high right now. But going into this next game, you can't continue to feel that way. You have to there's good positive energy and bad positive energy, and I would argue you want to have confidence in yourself, but it needs to be limited because you're about to go against another team just had a completely different experience than you, might even be more challenging because you have to expect it'll be more challenging. You're further on in the tournament now at this point, and you have to come into every single game like it's going to be game one, and that's kind of the expectation that Stingrays have to dealing with the Barracudas here.
And the Barracudas Stingrays face off to see who will head into next week, settled into the grand finals. The Barracudas have had a back-and-forth series with the Mammoths and will need to play their best against the Stingrays to advance. This team has had a ton of confidence, and if they can win early in the series, they can ride that right to the finals, which is exactly what you want. However, the Stingrays on the other side of the pitch took care of business quickly against the Wolves and are red hot into this winner's final matchup. And the coaches want this team to just focus on their game and not press too much into looking into goals. It's not exactly how you scored those goals. It's more or less important that you scored the goals at the end of the day. And to help both those teams, in their best of luck in this winner's final, we have our keys, Doc's keys to the game in Rock Lee, which is Create Mistake, Punish Over Commits, Play the Walls Better, and Demo to Disrupt. Doc's keys to the game are presented by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. And I think there's nothing better that we can do to head right into this game as we're looking forward to it. And I think you can't fall into that trap so easily. You cannot get into this, super high confidence level. It's good to have your chest up. It's good to be okay and confident, but you cannot fall into this, hey, we swept these guys so easy, everything else is going to be so easy, because typically, when the boat starts to rock, you're not ready for it.
No. And I think that's really important what you just said is like having that mentality that's ready for the boat to rock a little bit. Mm-hmm. And the positive stuff is actually the most important when things are going badly, because that's the only time that it really makes a huge difference. If you're winning already and you're keeping like generally okay but not like hyped up all the time, then you'll be fine regardless, right? Because things are going easy. And that at the end of the day, I think what's going to pay dividends for both these teams is the ability to just come into it with a fresh mindset, have the confidence in themselves and their team, and just move from there.
Yeah, and I always talk about this, especially with any other level of Rocket League that we broadcast as well. Is mindset is such an important factor to consider. It is so easy to bog yourself down, especially in a competitive format, that you start thinking, I'm not scoring cool goals, I'm not being amazing, I'm not being the guy I want to be, and just forget about that. Remember the fundamentals and the basics, and play to your teammates. If you're not having the best day, there's plenty of different ways to contribute rather than scoring a flashy goal.
I have to agree there so far. The first 2 seconds are kind of at a stalemate. An opportunity for Kevin to miss off the sidewall from the Stingrays. They're going to put the Barracudas in the lead again. Barracudas have actually only seen 1-goal leads in every one of their games so far.
So it's be a little bit of shock to them. Essentially, it's definitely one to look out for from that last game with the Stingray and Wolves. But I would say the entire team of the Barracudas is a threat on the field. And essentially, has a shot. Just as I was saying that, it's going to put that top bins and put this game 1-1 with 4 minutes and 26 seconds left.
A good start for both teams. Neither team feeling too bad or too in a hole, to say the least. Pop is able to keep the pressure on. Maybe look for an opportunity against Tokay here. Tokay actually goes for the no fakes.
We got faked
the lag. And now Boss is a try and clear across midfield 9. Fujay's going to stop it, maybe try to get it to Tokay, but he can't. The 50-50 is in the way, has to go for the pass instead. It's over Pop, it's over Iria, but the shot is just not there fast enough. Iria is able to get past the midfield line, able to get past Tokay, and now the Stingrays have an opportunity to score again.
Essentially looking for the control there, gets disrupted easily, something essentially might not be a little bit used to as compared to last time. Definitely trying to control the ball in enemy territory like that can definitely have repercussions, and essentially just learned a lesson there about a little bit of pressure. But Fujay right off the bat might have played against Papasaur. The 50 does not go in the way, but Kevin's quick to follow up. Pop for a play off the ball. Does not have any boost to follow that up. Actually does, but then decided not to go for it. But the ball's out mid. Tokay looking for a shot. Gets a lucky little second touch that was there. Essentially now to control the ball. Gets 50'd again off the backboard. Is there backboard defensive follow-up? There is not, as Kevin dunks it.
Barracudas taking advantage of every mistake right now. Good read off the backboard. Kevin actually going for the fake. Is that so risky? If they had taken the shot at the net, the Barracudas would not have been able to save that. But they stay alive a little longer. Essentially, Boss gets the pass over, but Tokay is able to clear it out not very well. Kevin has to help him out. Maybe looks for the pass over to a fellow Barracuda. Actually goes for the air dribble, and it wasn't in. It wasn't originally in, but the Stingrays weren't quite able to get the clear they wanted. They could have left it. They said, we're not risking it. We're going to make the clear attempt. But the pinch is just not in their favor. Barracudas get a free goal off of that one.
4-1 lead. And this is what we were talking about. You know, the Stingrays might be a little bit, you know, they might be a little bit shocked right now. They're definitely on their back foot of like, whoa, hey, whoa, what's happened? Like the last series went so well for us. You know, they're getting a little bit shocked. You know, an overall better team that the Barracudas are making out to be right now. It's a little more consistent all around. And that's exactly what I meant by all players on this orange side of the field are a threat to consider every time they touch the ball. Tokay with a little bit of clear. Fujay looking at a second touch, doesn't quite get the one looking for, essentially looking for the clear off the wall. I believe that was Tokay with the touch. Kevin looking to fake out Popstar. Popstar was there fast enough to not get faked out. Pop looking for the pass. Does get it. Erie's shot's not going to be there, just a bit outside. Oh!
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness.
What is happening?
That's still not cleared yet? Okay, all right, we're good.
It's all right. They got it out.
Yeah, past the midfield line. Fujay is able to make the play, but Boss has the block. Gets past one. If he has any more in the tank, he can make the shot. Oh my goodness!
Wow.
That is the kind of creative offense that we need to see from the Stingrays to pull this around. They have plenty of time now. 2 minutes to score 2 goals. I wish we had a replay on that one.
Yeah, that was
the full commit, the selfless aerial for the bump to say, I'm going to let my homie score this one. And now the Stingers are in a position where they can come back, but they still have their work cut out for them. Tokay is not going to give it up so easily. 50-50 is going to spill out mid. Essentially, Boss has the pass past the midfield line. He has a shot to take, but he can't quite do it. It goes past Iria. Iria is not expecting the whip, so Pop has to back off too. Boss off the backboard. He's going to get his own clear, but he can't quite do it. Kevin can just take the shot, but it will go wide, and the pressure will diffuse for the Barracudas.
Back over to Tokay taking possession of that ball. Kevin taking over possession. This is
Oh, no.
position to be.
They're in the game. They're one goal off of coming back, despite, I would say, a disastrous start to the game. Stingrays keeping headstrong going into this game one. They're not willing to give up game one yet, even though it's only a best of 5 and they have plenty of time. They want every single game point they can get. Kevin's outplaying one, outplaying two, and goes the extra mile. There must have been no boost in the third man on the Stingray side because there's no contest at all or faith in the second man.
The
Right
flip
off the, oh my
set.
goodness, 2 demos. It's just Pop that's alive right now.
The fake coming out from Kevin, that was masterfully played in my opinion. Pop looking for the pop to get the ball over the backboard, looking for a pass to play here.
Oh my goodness.
Erie had the touch, but it didn't have enough juice to get in. Tokay's going to make that backflip save there. Erie looking for some type of play off the wall, does get it. Kevin elevates to save it, does get the save there. Erie getting a second touch, keeping it in the reins for blue side. The Stingrays to potentially make a goal off the back pass to Erie is intercepted in the air by an orange Tokay. Actually, no, that was Fujay, actually.
Maybe an opportunity for the Stingrays kind of squandered there. Less than 30 seconds left on the clock. It's not looking so good. They have to score a goal now, but they are blocked by Fujay. It'll hang out mid. Iria can't do anything about it, so Kevin gets to roll all the way down the field. Gets past one, can't get past the second. A pass from essentially Boss over to the wall. He can follow it up first, but he actually fakes and leaves it instead. Has to get past one. He can't do it. It's remaining on the Stingray side as the clock winds down. The Barracudas are going to walk away with this one. That's what it looks like. It looks like a little bit of a concede free goal there.
A little trolling, never hurt anybody.
Yeah. But going into, it's physically impossible now, so I feel confident saying, going into game 2, I feel like this could be heavily favored for the Stingrays if they play like that and they don't give up that early lead.
Yep.
If they at least mitigate it to 1 or 2 goals early on, that they're able to at least take that to an overtime, and maybe we're looking at a completely different game 2. Maybe we're put in a position where we get the classic esports tower best of 3, which is any series.
Yeah, so in that best of 5, we're definitely not at match point. They have 2 more games to go.
Yep.
I do feel like one of the goals that the Stingrays were able to score was a mistake that was easily avoidable by Kevin if he got a better touch off the backboard. However, though, I also will say that I feel like there were several goals that the Stingrays could have stopped. There were 2 particularly that essentially tried to control the ball and would get 50 right off the bat as soon as they control it. No space, no room to breathe. you know, when you can't do that, you can't control the ball perfectly well, or you have to get rid of it very easily. And that's a learning curve for essentially to take into this game right now. And, you know, hopefully we don't see that heading into game 2, because if that doesn't happen, they have 3 less goals on the board that scored, and now all of a sudden you have a 2-3 game. It's very doable.
I absolutely have to agree with that. I'm interested to see what it looks like now that both teams have kind of felt each other out a little bit more. I felt like that last half of that game was an entertaining battle, to say the least. Iria is trying to lead the way, getting their first lead in this series. Oh, a good opportunity here, but essentially Boss is not in a good angle to take the shot. Has to go up off the wall, looks for the pass. It'll go out mid. Iria is actually not able to get there first, so Pop has to go. Fujay beats him out. Iria with the clear towards the midfield line. Toke playing it slow. Maybe has a pass towards Fujay. He gets it over. They'll take the shot.
No.
It might just be on. Oh, no. They left the highway open. They're punished immediately. Barracudas right back where they started. Every single game they played today, they've led right out of the gate. Oh, no way. Are we back to this?
Wow.
Okay.
A complicated 0-0.
We're tied again.
We're tied with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. Not even 30 seconds have gone by yet in this game. But I do gotta say that first goal scored by the Barracudas was perfectly executed. Kevin with the flip reset gets it under, gets it over and under 2 of the Stingray defenders, and just like that, in 34 seconds, 3 goals have been scored.
Just a little bit of a double commit. The Stingrays
Oh
caught
my
off guard.
God!
What
There's
is
no
going on?
way!
Barracudas, you have to hit the kickoff, otherwise you will never hold the lead ever. Oh my goodness! Hit the kickoff. What? Okay, it's fine.
What's going on.
We're live. Toke makes the pass. Area with the clear.
They have to be
Gets
critical.
it past one. Lost at the 50-50. It's pushed towards the wall. Fujay is looking for the solo play. Gets it tapped up, but can't follow it. Pop has the touch, but actually he misses. Iria can follow up here, but Kevin might have the beat. Pass over to the other side. Pop can take the opportunity here. Actually doesn't have that great of a touch. Fujay's going to hit it towards the wall. They'll cross the midfield line here, more than likely by Kevin's doing. Has a solo play. Cannot beat the Stingray's defense.
Kevin does keep trying to go for these flip resets, which eventually are going to get shut down more often than you try them. And unless you're an absolute demon on the sticks, it looks like the Stingrays are effectively able to stop it at least over 80% of the time. It worked the 2 times, but I feel like your effectiveness rating is going to go down the more they see it. But Toke is going to look for a boom. Is there anyone on the wall here? Fujay was up for it, now to make a clean touch. Essentially controlling off the sidewall here. He's going to fake it down, looking for play possession. Gets a bad touch. Kevin's there to follow up the pinch. Toke in the 3rd man position. Oh, gets pinched off. This could be dangerous for the Barracudas. It's not. They saved it anyway.
Barely hanging on there. Kevin going for that solo play again. Maybe another flip reset. Nope, just taps it away. Fujay has the challenge. A double commit from the Stingrays. This could be a problem. Nope, they're able to recover in time. Iria's able to get past one. Kevin's the only one in the air. He'll kick it away. Toke can't quite follow up off the wall. No response from Kevin after 2 attempts. Eventually, Boss will fake him out and ends up having to leave it for Pop, but gets beat by Barracuda's midfield. Iria following up off the wall, gets the pass over one, maybe reads it off the ceiling back to himself. Can't get the touch. It would have been a shot opportunity. Kevin's able to get the clear over to the corner. Essentially, Boss 50-50 in the corner. It'll diffuse altogether. It'll pass the midfield line, and now we're back to the ping pong as Kevin's just probably going to bang it back here in a second. Oh, no contact.
No contact. Toke looking for that follow-up here. Pop was there to follow up with 50 coming here. Full just gets Fujay gets beat. Doesn't expect to commit that fast and gets clearly beat off of that. And just like that, the Stingrays are in the lead here with about 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. And it's not looking as Kevin's up in the air. Just like that, you give this guy some free real estate in the air and he's going to take absolute advantage of it. Tie it up. 3-3 with about 2 minutes and 10 seconds left here. Toke is elevated, looking for another shot on net. It's blocked out by Iria. Fujay is there for the 50. Pop is up, looking for a shot on net. It's sent to the corner. Kevin most likely will be here to rebound play off the sidewall. Gets the save and gets credited for it as well. Fujay is looking for something on the sidewall. Gets interrupted. Toke pinching with the wall, essentially now with control of the ball. And with the decent amount of boost, isn't making great contact here. Oh, man.
It's in, yeah. If I'm the Stingrays right now, I have to be eyeing down Kevin. I cannot give him any space. Even when I don't give him space, he's going for those crazy flip resets you have to challenge every time. It creates so much pressure just going for them even, but almost a response immediately from the Stingrays here. Kevin's looking for another solo play to get blocked by the Stingrays. Looks like Iria is able to follow up and keep the play alive a little longer. Fujay past the midfield line. It's going to go into the corner. Can't quite do anything else. He's following it off the wall. Can't do much. Pop is going to get the clear. Tokay can't quite make contact. Kevin against the wall will have essentially Boss get the clear out. Tokay will just put it back into his own corner. Has the ability to fuse play. Maybe looks for a solo play of its own or a pass over to Fujay, who's hanging out mid. But Pop is trying to get in the way. Is only able to get past one. So Iria will have to defuse it in the corner.
Essentially coming out mid. Fujay here with the 50. Does get the 50 indeed. Ball kind of lingering back out towards the middle. Is intercepted, sent over back to the orange side here. Tokay looking to defensive play. Does in fact get it. Fujay getting over one more. There's only one back. Is there a save? There is. Sending it around the corner again, looking to play over one. Essentially putting a shot on net the wrong way. As we linger back down to 40 seconds, the shot off the backboard is more like a pass here. But Fujay is the defensive iron wall for this team right now.
Hanging on in the corner. Essentially Boss takes the shot over to Iria. Bounce off the wall. The Stingrays are back in it. We have an extremely tight 8-goal game here going to the last 30 seconds. This feels more like even game 5 of the best of 5 series. An opportunity here for Essentially Boss. Takes the shot. Less than 30 seconds left on the clock. The Stingrays are leading. Barracudas might have a run for their money in game 2 here. They have to find a way to get one more and force an overtime at least. Tokay on the wall. Looks for the pass out mid. Kevin to respond. Can't do much with it. Just pass it over. It's behind Fujay. Fujay has to waste time flipping all the way back. Pop with the shot. It's not very good. Fujay is able to clear it out instead, laying it off into the corner. Try to cross the midfield line here. They won't be able to get past Boss. Will hit it all the way into the other corner. May has a response himself, has a shot. Kevin is there to block out Iria with the pressure. It's not going to let him pass the midfield line here. This could be an opportunity for Iria to go to the double touch, and he's not quite able to get enough boost. And it looks like that will be our game.
Yeah, that is the end of game. That is the end of game 2. Just right off the bat, Barracudas, if you want to win, hit the freaking ball off the kickoff. Like, what?
I know.
What is going on?
So many scary situations. Even in game 1, there was that situation where I was like, oh, that was a gamble. I'm not going for the kickoff there after that 50-50. But I don't know. It feels like that's definitely a weakness that's being exploited at least a little bit, intentionally or unintentionally right now by the Stingrays. But it's definitely working. It's definitely something that the Barracudas need to clean up. That game looks very different if they clean up their kickoffs.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It looks entirely different. It's 3 goals can really, 2 can absolutely be attributed to kickoff goals, but I feel like 3 of them, the second to last one was just like, what happened there? Like, the kickoff is definitely, if I'm sitting there, I'm telling my teammates right now, like, personally me, I'm like, hey, like, dude, the kickoff was the only thing going wrong there. If we manage to just make solid contact and not lose that every time, we win these next 2 games.
Yeah, but on the counterpoint for the Stingrays, I feel like if they say the same thing to each other, just in the form of, hey, we got to lock down Kevin before he even gets a chance. I mean, there were 2-3 goals scored in Kevin's name to some crazy plays, so I don't know. If adjustments are made in this game 3, we're seeing some very spicy gameplay right off the bat. The Stingrays stealing away the Barracuda streak of owning their early game right now. We're 19 seconds in. Stingrays have a goal up off of a passing play from the wall. Pop will pass it over. Pop will pass it over to the Boss, who's not able to make contact. Iria with 50-50. It'll probably just spill out for the Barracudas clear, and we will rotate to a Barracudas offense.
Kevin controlling the ball. During that 4-minute mark here, Tokay looking for something here. Fuji's going to take over the ball, looking for a pass out mid. Essentially there to disrupt it. There is no more follow-up from the Barracudas. They're going to release that to 50, sending over to their side. 2 orange attackers are over there, ready for the ball to be received. Tokay getting 1 touch, sent out to the corner. Again, a good spot for Essentially to want it. Bangs it over to their side. Is there any recovery from the side of Barracudas? There is. Fuji's going to take it. Beats out 1 defender, looking for a pass upfield. Kevin is. Pop is there, deflect it. Tokay is going to rebound it, recover, send it off the ceiling. It's intercepted. There are 2 Stingrays really far up.
What is going on?
There's just a lot of confusion on the side of defense for the Barracudas.
Looks like they're getting out now. Okay, the play seems to have turned into a normal play now. Iria off the wall, back to themselves. Is able to get the tip over 1. It can't do much else. He's relying on Boss to get the beat here, but Kevin will flick it away. Pop has the 50-50. Ends up being a double commit on the 50-50 for the Barracudas. Fujay will get a demo. Could open up some space for Tokay, but certainly not a scoring position yet. Iria is in the way, is able to hit it back towards the wall. Has to get the follow-up. He does get the follow-up. They'll bang all the way to the other side. Pop is in the way. Essentially, Boss is also in the way, though ends up leaving Boss to get it. Kevin has the clear, only passes down in front of his net, and oh my goodness, no response from the Stingrays in a very definite goal situation there. Pop is able to keep it in the midfield line. With the help of Boss, they get past one, but they have to get past two more if they're going to make it work. A pinch out, Iria can make it happen. Oh my goodness, the Stingrays popping away with a very solid pitch in the midfield, catching Barracudas way off guard on their defensive end.
They've definitely changed a lot of momentum here, and it sort of was a place of contention and reason to think, are they absolutely prepared to take on the Barracudas, who we know was a strong team from the beginning. But without a doubt in my mind, they are easily, there's three really good teams in this, four of them are really good teams, but these three other teams are really strong to push forward, and we're looking two of the best just hammer out shots back and forth to each other. The Stingrays definitely have control of this game as we near this 2-minute mark that we have going forward. Pop getting a 50. Fujay looking for the pass out mid, does get it. Toke leaving for Kevin. Don't give Kevin a lot of the space here. Now off the ceiling, does get deflected off, but the ball's still in the middle. Don't make any type of player. Fujay making it back. Oh, a pinch.
Goodness. It's
going to work out in the Barracuda's favor. They're saving grace, and now they can breathe a sigh of relief as all that pressure tends to just leave the body when that first goal gets scored.
An unlucky pinch for the Stingrays here, but they have that security goal, so they're feeling safe right now. But they're going to have to hang on a little bit longer here. There's still 2 minutes before the Barracudas come back, which is a very aggressive, powerful team. See what happens. Essentially, Boss using his teammate to get the clear out here, is able to get past one. The demo on Kevin could be huge. Gives the area a lot of space to make something happen. Hits it off the back wall, rolls out mid. No contact, but there's no Stingray there to make the score happen.
I think essentially got demoed. Because there was a demo. I don't know exactly where it was, but there essentially did get demoed, and I imagine he was the one to follow that pass up in the midfield.
I'll take your word for it. I guess it was off screen, but disaster for the Stingrays there. Allowed the Barracudas to make an easy whiff. We'll have to see if they're able to bounce back from it. Toke, pass off the back wall. Fujay, not quite able to make the play happen either. Essentially, Boss tapped downfield. Kevin looking for the solo play, maybe ends up leaving it for Iria. Boss has to get the pass on middle. He can't make contact. Toke taps it away over to Fujay, who's up, gets past one. Has the double tap off the wall. Actually barely misses on the bounce. Now Kevin will hit it towards his own corner. They still have to get one more in order to stay in this game. Otherwise, they give match point to the Stingrays.
A lot of blue boosts over on that side. While there's not looking like a lot on the orange, this is definitely the time for them to take advantage. It essentially is up, has the ball in the midfield. Kevin is there to play defensive, but it's not quite out of the danger zone. And it pays off for them sticking around so close to the net as they're going to make this game 3-1 with around 38 seconds left. Looking very close, and they could definitely take this to the point of match point for
That's
Stingrays.
a huge demo. It's not quite there fast enough to make anything happen with it.
Oh no, man, it was. I honestly thought the Barracudas would be able to recover, but that demo had a much bigger impact than what I thought it was, and that's exactly why it's in Doc's keys right there. Make the demo.
Yeah, they created a mistake by getting the bump there. Demo to disrupt. Two solid tips from Doc's keys in the game there coming into play in this game 3. Now at this point, I think if I'm the Stingrays, I'm feeling fairly confident in taking away game 3 here. Just have to close it out now. Continue to give Kevin almost no space. I feel like we didn't even see very many attempts from these very mechanically oppressive plays from Kevin. That might be a testament to the adjustment made by the Stingrays between game 2 and 3.
Yeah, as we get down to this final second, it definitely felt like Kevin did not have as much breathing room as there was for that orange side of ball control. And, if we did have the heat map, I would almost guarantee you, with a lot of certainty in my own faith, that it would be a lot of blue side ball control and field control. It just in general, it felt a lot more oppressive and a dictatorship that was very refreshing to hear them or to see them more likely to have over the pitch and the ball.
Yeah, I couldn't make any mental guesses on the side control or shot control, but what I do know is that I bet if we looked at the statistics of shot percentage, of shots to goals, they were looking a lot more solid in favor of the Stingrays that round. It felt like every opportunity that was given to them, minus maybe a demo in the midfield at one point in time, they ran with really easily. And maybe that team play and that aggressive backline play style where they're just going for these weird pinches and trying to catch the Barracudas off guard on more than one occasion, just playing their own game is what I'm going to call it at this point. That flow state is maybe just all they need at this point to break through the defense.
Oh yeah, that's exactly, and they're proving out to be that once they kind of fill out the enemy team and shape up to it, They're definitely a strong team to not scoff at as they put the Barracudas in match point here, looking for the potential to move forward into the grand finale and send the Barracudas packing down to the lower finals. Essentially keep control of the ball, dangerous to keep. Kevin's there, does get the flipper set's not there. Fujay with the shot, looking for the top left corner, but didn't find anything from it. Ball is still stuck in the blue mid as it's passed over the other side wall. Here he might be able to control it here, does get bumped off the ball. Popsor is back up elevated, has control of the ball, gets one flipper set, looking for the second, is intercepted by Kevin. Didn't have much hope of connecting with that second touch here. Kevin to play around essentially does, but Iria was there for the backup play. Defends their goal line, keeps the point off the board. Fujay with a really good redirect 50. Popsor in the back third again, playing this defensive role. Out mid, oh, there was a shot, but it wasn't strong at all, and essentially now it's control, playing around Toki. Popsor plays around Fuji. Fuji now has control, getting one more touch, looking to play a second one off the backboard. Iria not there to make any plays. There a fall, and Toki shot, and Popsor unfortunately made a backflip play, and that leads the Barracudas up 1-0 in the first about 2 minutes of this game. Minute and a half.
Barracudas maybe feel like they're getting a little bit more in control of the play. Fujay now going for that flipper set, has the touch, has the dunk down, and no respect from the Stingrays on Fujay's solo play. Haven't seen a lot of solo plays from him in these games we've seen him in today, but apparently that's something you got to watch out for. He's whipping out all the stops as well.
Did you notice the skin change?
I did
to
notice.
the space station decal. I think Fujay is serious. I think this is like Super Saiyan mode coming out.
Yeah, he has. We've let him cook long enough, is what the Barracudas are saying. They're unleashing the beast with Fujay right now. Essentially, Boss is trying to create some offensive measure here, get the Stingrays back on the scoreboard. Not quite able to do it yet. Iria has the opportunity here, but he's going to go from the top. Can't quite do anything from there. Gave Kevin a lot of time to challenge all the way from the ceiling. Essentially, Boss has the follow-up on the wall here. Maybe looks for a shot. Can only tap it down. Kevin's in the way. I think we've seen a shift in playstyle, to say the least. I think we've seen a lot of disruption mentality shift from Kevin here. We've seen a couple demo attempts, and sometimes where he's just chasing down defenders, and a lot more just in-your-face challenges rather than the solo play mentality that we've seen from all the other games.
Oh, wow. What a great redirect by Toke. And a little bit of BM coming out from Kevin there. It does get the fake. Nevertheless, an amazing play to see. But it definitely feels like Kevin has taken more of a back roll in these first 2 minutes of the game. The offensive pressure from Kevin is not as immeasurable as it was before, and it definitely feels like it's a lot more focused on Fuji and Toke kind of taking the relief off of Kevin a little bit, but Pop taking a shot as Fuji makes a defensive play, but it's all for naught as Kevin's not able to be fast enough and make that secondary defensive play, and just like that, the Stingrays are on the board with about a little over 2 minutes left to play in the game.
It feels like Fujay and Toke are kind of running the offensive end for the Barracudas right now with a lot of passing plays to their name. Under those 3 goals. We'll have to see if that's an adjustment that will hold true. If they win this, we force a game 5. So either way, the Stingrays are going to see this again if they lose.
Yeah, either way, most likely these teams, unless the Mammoths upset and keep going, which that could be the possibility, or the Wolves. Nobody's clearly out of the running yet.
Kevin off the wall. Side. Could be an opportunity here for the Stingrays to hop on this. See if Iria's up, maybe looking for a touch from a teammate. The shot down from essentially Boss. It's just not quite going to make quality contact. Now, Toke is able to clear it over to Kevin. Oh, they played off each other. Did they just own goal? Nope, Fujay has it out at the last moment. Looks like they were setting out for a massive passing play, but weren't quite able to make anything of it. Fujay's going for the bump. A little pass out mid here. Iria's up, just has to tap it down. Does get the tap down. Threads the needle between the defender's area of effective flipping there, and we'll see the Stingrays pull it over to a 1-goal game now. They're unwilling to give up this yet.
That was almost a well-positioned in-and-out defensive play coming out from the orange side of this field here. Fujay now defense. Iria's there to stop it all. Nobody's quite able to follow up that beautifully played mid-play. Mid-pass, I should say, more likely. Fujay now off the wall, looking for a second touch. Has it. Now it's the midfield, but there is no orange Barracuda attacker there to take any level of advantage of that pass, but it still lingers out in the midfield. Toke with one shot, pass up to Kevin. Kevin not able to get fast enough in the air to make any sort of attempt on that ball. As the pelota just kind of just lingers in his midfield area, but the shot was made by Fujie. Erie now getting played around. Kevin now has it. Fujie looking for a disruptive bump play in the net, but Kevin not able to make any type of shot attempt on the goal.
Okay, towards the wall. Iria with the response ends up leaving it over for their teammate. Pass out mid. Fujie is able to get the clear. No response yet from the Stingrays. They are up with the 50-50. The pop will come out mid. And Boss is able to hit it away, but not past Kevin, who has a touch. Hits towards the back of the net. The clock is winding down. Kevin has a shot opportunity, but doesn't take it. Iria with the pass out. Pop has to get past one. He does get past one. They have to keep it in the air, and they can't do it. The Stingrays barely losing out. It feels like every time that they're struggling to actually win these games is because they're giving up so many goals in the early game. It feels like they definitely have what it takes, but they have got to make sure that they're not feeling cold in those first 2 minutes.
It definitely, that definitely, it reminded me a lot of the first matchup, that first game that they had against the Barracudas. That's sort of what the second game reminded me. A little closer because they managed to put 2 more points on the board, and it was a very close game nonetheless. But it definitely felt like the mentality was very much focused on Kevin as an offensive striker. However, though, that sort of shifted as to, hey, let's all be a part of the offensive game. Right, and Kevin definitely took not as big as a role as I led on in the game, but definitely did take a small step back of being a little more defensive player, and I did like to see that. That shows the ability to adapt and flow with your team's needs.
Yeah, I did like to see that as well. I would argue that even there was only a little bit more defensive interest on Kevin's end.
Yeah.
It seemed mostly like he was converting to one of my favorite roles actually in Rocket League, which is kind of like that scrappy support role that's just doing whatever he can to create the opportunities and create space for his team. And I think it's honestly a really good adjustment. If they foresaw that continued strategy of the Stingrays of shutting down Kevin over and over again, they'll be like, well, like you've adapted to that, but now we're just going to not do that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It seemed really effective. I'd like to see if they can hold on to their lead a little bit earlier or a little bit better, because it kind of feels like right now neither team is doing a very fantastic job of holding their lead.
Yeah, it was something of the Stingrays definitely adjusted beforehand. Like they met a very strong-willed Barracudas team in the beginning of this match, and they adapted to that team. And just as I say that, 12 seconds into the goal, they put one on the board, putting them up in the middle. But nothing's to say they can't adapt to this new kind of mentality or play style that Barracudas have going on. But this is Game 5, so this is do or do not for both teams.
No, both teams down to their last lives. There are no more adjustments to make. This is the final moment for both teams. Let's see what they're able to do. Iria bringing out a little bit of sauce of their own. Stingrays have their security goal to their name now. 29 seconds taken off this clock. There are 2 goals in favor of the Stingrays. Iria is able to win the 50-50 here too. Could be significant. Toke looks like they're a little bit stranded. Pass off the wall from the Essentially Boss over the pop is just a little bit high. Not quite able to do anything with it yet. Boss is able to keep control, maybe get some bumps and just force an opportunity here. Pop has a shot, just puts it high, maybe has faith in their team, but can't quite get anything done. Has to slow down the play. Kevin's able to get the clear. Iria is going to play it off the wall. Does get past one, but probably doesn't have the follow-up. The play will diffuse here shortly for the Stingrays as the Barracudas are able to keep it on their end.
James Fuji is up in the air. Is not able to get a pass. Pops over here, but Toke is going to recenter here. Kevin's now up in the air. One touch off the backboard, looking for the follow-up. Iria playing with a really good level of backboard defense. Gets one touch. It's past Fuji. Toke is there for the rotational play, but a pass right back. Kevin looking for some type of a psycho, I imagine, the backboard play, but it doesn't work out, as essentially it's there for the very fast aerial up mid and slots it top right bins.
That was a beautiful top corner shot. Excellent use of your space. Essentially, Boss tries to get past the midfield line and does, but not in a meaningful way as Fujie is able to bounce it back immediately. Iria tries to flick past Kevin, can't do it. Kevin going for a solo play here, gets it off this wall. Toke with the shot. Barracudas get themselves on the scoreboard. 3 minutes and 24 seconds left on the clock. You've got 3 goals in favor of the Stingrays now. The Barracudas only have 2 more to tie it up.
Yeah, going right into it. It's looking like the scoreline that it was last time around. Essentially, able to make a really good defensive play that keeps them out of a danger zone. Little Boss taking a little bit slow, going back to the old roots. Kevin looking for a big play. Doesn't get it off as Pop is there to quickly commit to that play. Toke looking to boom it past 2 defenders. Essentially now on the ball, passes it out mid. There's Kevin to make the 50. Fujay to follow up quickly off the wall. This is the boost for the play. There is not. However, there's not a lot of blue boosts that I'm seeing over on their little UI over there. Area looking for a play. Is able to slot it. You don't need boosts when you have the precision that Area has. Really showing the true colors here and taking sort of that striker-attacker role a little more serious. They said, oh, you'll have Fujay play the attacker role? Now
Yeah, Iria stepping up in this game 5 now. A little bit of a different side from what we've seen earlier. Gunning for the MVP position right now for sure.
Oh,
essentially, Boss. Leaves it out for Pop. Can't get the pass over. This could be disastrous. Essentially, Boss does have the clear, though. Iria is able to run, or Boss. They're able to get past one. Iria in the mid for the play here. Does get the 50-50. 50-50 is it off his own teammate. Probably can't make any play happen because of it. Actually, no way. They bounce it off the wall, off of the opponent, back to themselves, and then are able to find the angle because of that. Stingrays leading by 4 goals now with less than half a game left on the clock. This is a complete, I'm not going to say a complete flip, but this is a completely different game from what we've seen in all of the other 4 games. It doesn't feel like we've had very many blowouts in this series.
Yeah, in this particular series as well, it doesn't necessarily feel like that. This is probably going to be the second one of it, considering we win, 3 other games as well. Pop sort of elevated here, and all these goals really felt like a blur as they're sort of up.
Oh my goodness, they did it again.
Yeah,
they love these misdirects, don't they?
I think this goes back to they pulled one on the Barracudas because the Barracudas did it to the Mammoths the other time around, or was it the Mammoths? I think it was Mammoths that were doing the fake plays.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
Wow.
A killer save from Boss there. Maybe not the greatest placement of the shot from the Barracudas, but it is a definite clutch save by Boss for a second there.
Fuji's up and gets overextended. However, lucky Kevin to the backfield. Kevin decides to take a really long way to save that ball. You would think to more just clear that up to the side here, but nevertheless, they are able to clear it. However, they're still down 5 goals with a little more than a minute left to play. They've really got to figure out something here because 5 goals is no thing to scoff at, and the rate that the Stingray team is going at, they're going to score a couple more on you. So just now under that 1 minute, they're feeling the pressure, they're feeling the dangerous. Erie's up for another aerial play, gets a secondary touch. Yeah, Iria is definitely the top 3 now, I think.
Yeah,
there's no question about it.
Yeah, Iria is showing up absolutely when it matters the most right now. Some impressive gameplay to say the least. The Barracudas completely caught off guard by this kind of play from Iria. Pop going for the fake could be significant here. He only has to flick past 1 because of it. He does get it. Fujay does have the save. Essentially, Boss looks for the pass. Actually, just goes for the shot. Kevin with the block. Trying to hang out mid. Fujay tries to get the clear out. It's not a good enough clear. Pop's just going to be able to take the shot. It'll bounce off the ceiling. 2 offenders up for the Stingrays. Could be disaster. Pop is able to deflect it at the right time, however, by enough time. Boss goes for a play off the wall. Does draw out a burial from Kevin. Passes out over to Iria. A block from Toke. Rolling over to Fujay. He probably just has the shot. He does.
Yep.
7-2 favoring the Stingrays. I think with honestly 13 seconds left on the clock, I think 5 goals is looking like kind of too tall of a hill to climb.
That's it's looking very undoable, but like I iterated before, nobody's quite out of the race yet. You do drop down to the lower finals, but that is not the end of it all. As you count down this last second, the next time this ball touches the ground, it will be over. It's more or less, will they keep it up for the sake of it? Fuji missing the touch, actually gets one, but it's not on net, so it doesn't matter too much. And these Stingrays, a team who at the beginning of the series wasn't looking super strong, ends up just reverse. I don't even know what to call it, a reverse sweep, but just going blow for blow with this Barracuda team, ends up turning out on top. And into these Gauntlet Games, don't forget to sign up for the DMV Area LAN event. The Gauntlet Games are coming into the Sinaloa University Saturday, February 11th. It is going to be great fun, and TikTok is giving great prizes. Winners compete for $500 in cash and bragging rights to be on the Rumble. Yup, the winning team is invited to compete on the worldwide Rumble stage. If you live in Virginia, Maryland, or the greater DC metro area, sign up for the February Gauntlet Games at esportstower.com/GG. Free food, free swag, and free training from Esports Tower. Go ahead and check it out. So, what a series. The first series was great, and the last series was great.
Yep.
The second series was also good as well, but those two definitely stand out to me. And just yeah, the Stingray team really took it back.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. I mean, I think honestly, I think two of, if not all three of our options, however it's done today for our ICC player of the game,
we do have
is going to end up on that
the trio. Yeah,
that Stingrays roster.
well, then leading right into that, who's your trio pick?
The Stingrays roster.
The Stingers roster in
Yeah, the
general.
whole roster.
You know, I actually was thinking the same thing of the Barracudas roster, but I'm gonna take that pick back. I'm gonna nominate Fuji and Kevin, but I am gonna also
those are good
nominate
choices.
Erie.
Yeah, I think Erie.
I think those would be my three. Like if I had to completely predict it all.
Yeah,
But
that
if
makes
any
sense.
one of those players are in it, but I imagine out of those six, out of the two teams, the majority of those six are probably going to be in it. Oh, actually, we just have Kevin straight up being our player of the game of the whole thing, and you know it definitely was. Kevin had a very dominating performance. Nevertheless, he is the ET player of the game. Tonight's player of the game is brought to you by Esports Tower. Want to hone your skills and prove you have what it takes to play at the next level? Head over to esportstower.com and sign up to be a part of the action. Kevin is the Esports Tower player of the game.
A well-deserved player of the game. I mean, I know I chose all the Stingray roster, but honestly, I can't blame him. Kevin felt like he was hot all day in every game, and just really impressive gameplay from him all around. It was a very tight series. That last game might have, if you kind of popped in for just that last game, it might have felt like it wasn't, but it definitely was. And I'm excited to see these teams play each other again. I really hope they do.
Yep. I do have to say it did feel like less of a presence from Kevin those last two games, and I feel like if there was one note to just leave out is just be an egotist, right? Even if it's sort of like for the team's sake, there's never really a bad thing with wanting to be better than everyone else in the field, right? That's the mentality you've got to have. You've got to be a shark in the water.
Definitely.
And you know, I feel like if this Barracuda team regroups and adopts that mentality, and all three of them start going for really good plays, like it sort of felt like in the first series and the first couple matches of the second one, I think they end up upsetting the Stingrays the second time around.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea where this would go if we got to see them play again, but I'm hoping we see them in another, Game 5 Grand Finals kind of situation.
Yeah.
I'm not. Based off of what we saw today, I'm not totally sure where the other teams are going to lie. They could pop off in the next few weeks, and we could be totally blown out of the water to see the other two teams entirely in the Grand Finals. But as of right now, I'm sensing a rematch.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm definitely, predictions are predictions, but nevertheless, anything can happen. But I 100% agree with you there. I'm feeling a rematch would be very anticipated from both of us here on Desk. But as we finalize everything and move out, we want to just give a congratulations to all the team on a fantastic night of RL. The Stingrays have secured their spot in the Grand Finals. Everyone else will battle out next week in the lower bracket at their shot at them. You will not want to miss it. Make sure to join us next Wednesday at 6 p.m. EST. We will close out with the top 5 sponsored by the Esports Tower. Want to improve your game and take your skills to the next level? Join our free starter club for Rocket League and start improving your skills. Head over to esportstower.com. Have a great night. Stay safe out there, and make sure to tune in next week to follow up with these teams. From the desk here at Boise City Sports Arena, peace.
Fuji beat. Zert has to rotate back. A response from Switch will keep the aggression in play a little longer. No defensive rotation for the Barracudas. They do get a clear out, however. No boost on the side of Tokay means that he will get beat by Zert here. Oh, and a good shot from Kevin at the midfield line. They're just caught off guard. The Mammoths barely not making contact when it mattered most.
Backboard does get one clean touch, sends it off to the side. Cutter trying to recenter, does double commit with State. State getting a really good second touch, almost slammed, dunks it back in. Not going to find the efforts out of it. And Tony finding an open net, making this off-center commit. Something that they didn't do in the first match that they adjusted in this second, and they catch the opponents off guard.
50-50 actually goes in favor of the Mammoths. Follow-up from Zert could be huge here, but he's just going to get too slow of a pass. Oh my goodness. That's definitely not what you're looking for. There's a little bit less than 10 seconds left on the clock here. Around 15, but no, it's not enough. Barracudas just find a third one off of a really unfortunate, almost like self-pinch off the wall.
It gets beat. Doesn't expect to commit that fast and gets clearly beat off of that. And just like that, Stingrays are in the lead here with about 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. And it's not looking as Kevin's up in the air, and just like that, you give this guy some
free real estate now.
for sure.
Oh,
Essentially, boss. Leaves it out for a pop. Can't get the pass over. This could be disastrous. Essentially, boss does have the clear, though. Iria is able to run, or boss. They're able to get past one. Iria in the mid for the play here. Does get the 50-50. 50-50 is off his own teammate. Probably can't make any play happen because of it. Actually, no way. They bounce it off the wall, off of the opponent. Back.